Okay guys, so in the last video I was showing you how to make a bottle and we created something like this. So I actually tidied this up just a tiny bit since the last video, but nothing very serious. I just extended the body in the middle and made it a slightly better bottle shape. The only other thing which I changed was that I increased the transmission roughness and the transmission to try to get a realistic sort of plastic texture to it, and I'm pretty happy with that now. It's transparent but not too transparent, so you can see the table through the plastic, but it's not completely transparent because obviously in real life plastic isn't perfectly transparent. So now what I want to do is to put a label onto this bottle. And I actually downloaded a label to my desktop earlier on. So if I just have a look for where I saved that, here it is. So I got this from the internet. I just searched, I was going to say Googled, but of course I use Bing because they're better marginally. I searched for water bottle label, and this was one of the ones that came up. And I thought this was pretty good, so I'm going to add this image onto the side of my bottle. Now, if you close down Blender and you've just loaded it up and gone back to your file from the last lesson, your file might be looking a bit like this. So in order to see it in realistic rendering, you first of all need to go to the fourth bubble along to turn on rendered option. And then you also need to make sure that if you click on the digital camera icon, that your render engine is set to cycles instead of Eevee. So if we use Eevee, it gives good quality rendering, but we can't see through the bottle, at least not without a little bit of trickery, and I don't want to use that trickery. So we're just going to stick to using Eevee if we want to see, stick to using cycles if we want to see the transparency of the bottle. But when I'm editing things, it's actually easier to keep things in Eevee because it's going to be faster. So I'm going to use Eevee now, and then I'm going to select my bottle and go into edit mode. And this is where we can edit the different sides of the bottle. Now I'm going to select the faces where I want to put my label. So the way I'll do that is that I will hold down the Alt key and click, and that will select a single row of faces. And then if I go up one, hold down the Shift key and the Alt key together and click, and that will add another row. So I'm going to select those 3 rows because that's where I want my water bottle label to be. Okay, now the next thing is I need to click on the UV editing option up here. And this is where I'm going to load in the picture of my water bottle label. So I'll click on open. And then my water bottle label was on my desktop. There it is, water.jpg. So here's the image for the label. Now, so that I can see what's happening, I'm going to click on the fourth bubble along to put me back in rendered mode. And then I'm going to press the U key and choose unwrap. Now, when I choose unwrap, it's basically going to select the items that I want to have selected and show me how those are going to connect to the image. Now, at the moment, they've gone in a circular shape, and that's not what I want. So I've just realized that in order to separate out these items, I probably need to add a seam. So I'm going to go to the line select mode. That's the second one along, and then click down here. And then I'm going to go to edge and mark seam. And that basically is telling Blender that I don't mind if the texture doesn't match across that line. So I just want to wrap around that line. Now I can go back to face select and hold down Alt and Shift together so that we select those 3. And then I'm going to go to unwrap. And this time I've got a more reasonable unwrapping. Where it's gone in a straight line. Now it is still slightly bent. I'm not sure why that is, to be honest, but it doesn't matter too much. So I'm now going to go over to this side and I'm going to select all of the mesh by pressing A, and then I'm going to press R to rotate it, and I can type 90 to rotate it exactly 90 degrees. Now I'll use the G key to move it over. Basically, I'm just going to try to scale it and rotate it in such a way that I can get it to exactly go over the top of this label. Now, it is a bit weird the way that it's sort of bending like that, and I'm, to be honest, not sure what's causing it. I'll see if I can work it out a bit later on, but anyway, there we go. Now, in order to see this on the bottle, I'm going to need to go to the Materials tab, and then where it says, where it has the list of materials, I'm going to click plus to make a new material, and click New, and then I'll call this Label. Now, where it says Base Color, I'm going to click on the dot next to Base Color, and I'm going to choose, sorry, the meeting thing is in the way there. I'm going to click on the dot next to Base Color, and I'm going to choose Image Texture. And the image texture that I want to use is water.jpg. Okay, so I've now I click on Assign, and that has now put the label onto my bottle. Now it's put the label on upside down. So what I can do is just go over to the left-hand side, press R to rotate, and type 180 for 180 degrees. Okay, and there we've got my label on the bottle. Now, it isn't perfect because you can see that the top, the letters are getting cut off at the top, and that's because my mesh along here is bendy. So I think what I'm going to do is just straighten it out by hand. So a way that I can do that is to, again, I'm going to use line select. Oh, I've got point select here. Sorry, line select over here. So that's the second one along. And then if I hold down Alt and click on one of the lines along the top, then it's going to select the whole row. Now I type S to scale, Y to change size in the Y direction, and 0. Oh, hold on. I've got the wrong icon there. Let's just try that again. So S to scale, Y 0, and that will flatten out that particular row of dots. Now I'm going to do the same here. So hold down Alt, click on the line, S, Y, 0, enter. Now down here, hold down Alt, click on the line, S, Y, 0, enter. And then on the bottom row, hold down Alt, click on the line, S, Y, 0. And that just straightens up those lines. And then I can use that just to make sure that it covers the label exactly. So I don't know why it didn't initially come out covering the label in the way that I wanted. Maybe there is a better way to do that. I don't know what it is. I could investigate later on. But there we go. Our label is now on correctly, and it doesn't get cut off at the tops anymore. So once you've got your label on correctly, you can go back to Layout View. Looks pretty good. And now I'm just going to switch back to Cycles, and we'll have a look at it in its full ray traced glory. There's our water bottle with the label on, and I'm pretty happy with that result. Obviously, I guess the next step would be to put some water in the water bottle, but I think that's going to be another lesson. I'm just fiddling about with the lighting here. Looks very moody. This could be like a water bottle as maybe evidence in a murder case. Anyway, that's it for this particular video, guys.